All right, welcome here to the Indiana Queens from Championship Lanes in Anderson, Indiana. You're watching it live on Savage Bowling TV. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester in the booth. PBA Hall of Famer, Indiana legend Mike Aulby will be here for squad number 2. 10 a.m. squad just now kicking off, and they'll bowl 4 games here across the entire center. And what a turnout they have this morning for this first squad. 68 of the best ladies in the state are right here inside Championship Lanes. And plus, we have the defending champion here. We have, I believe, if I remember correctly, 5
something like that
past champions here bowling this morning. So what a turnout it is. And we're seeing some strikes here this morning. We have right here in front of us on 7 and 8, we have a lady here with the front 5. So we do expect the scoring pace. Last year, I believe Shelby New was the tournament leader.
He jinxed her.
Oh, my fault. Well, that was Jenny Ferguson.
Yeah, it was.
She's won it twice.
2009 and 2011, I think Jeff said when he announced it.
Correct. Well, there's the announcer's jinx right out of the gate. I'm 1 for 1.
Probably why we've never had a 300 on a live stream.
Yeah, you're probably right. Want to thank you for watching this morning. Got my cup of coffee. This is my second one, so I'm really good to go here. And always one of our more popular events that we do live stream. And Chad, it's great to see this tournament really growing. I believe this is a record number of entries for the first squad that Jeff has had. He had 75 prepays, which is a record number.
Yeah.
And love the fact that it's growing every year. And what a great host, Championship Lanes. Angie Collop and Dave Small, the owner. Angie, the proprietor or the GM here, do a phenomenal job of hosting these events. We love coming to Championship Lanes. Great food, plenty of space, and very clean center, and it's always great to come back here every year.
Yeah, top-notch host for tournaments here in Indiana. I mean, we're kind of in a central location. It's kind of it's easy to get to from all around the state, and entries show that. I mean, entries are good for the Queens. They're excellent for the Masters. This is Jeff's, third year that he's been running the tournament since his staff took it over, and it's grown every year.
Well, I love the fact that the first thing that he did, Chad, was he made it a one-day event.
Right.
Regardless of the number of entries, you know, until it outgrows the 2 squads, we got plenty of open lanes to expand. You could have as many as, I believe, 110 entries per squad. And so until it goes beyond that, we'll be able to have 2 qualifying squads and have this on one day. And I think that really has helped grow it, because now you're not forcing the bowlers to stay overnight and come back the second day. So,
yeah, and he's getting close to, I feel like he's getting close to maybe adding a 3rd squad and make it a 2-a-day event. We're probably a year or 2 away, but, you know, something he'll have to eventually look at.
Right, and we're right now, the match play portion of the tournament doesn't start until 4 o'clock. So it's 7 to 7:30 by the time we're done.
That's right.
And that's only with 16 bowlers. So think of this. If it grows more, then he'll have to go to 32 bowlers.
Right.
Or he would have to add a second round like they do for the Indiana Masters.
Yep.
And he'll lock in a certain number of bowlers into the bracket and then bring – so that could be a possibility that he has to consider at some point. And that's a great problem to have.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So the pattern, Jeff tells me, is a modified Stonehenge pattern. So we should see some really good scores today.
Well, Shelby New led it last year in average, I believe, right around 243.
Yeah.
So you don't see those numbers in the Indiana Masters.
Unheard of.
No. one year, I believe, maybe a couple of years, they got to 700 in the Indiana Masters. I believe this year was only like 660 something or 680. And that was Kevin McCune, who's here today watching his girlfriend bowl. A lot of big stars in the bowling world here today. E.J. Tackett's here watching his wife Natalie bowl. Ronnie Russell is here watching his wife Michelle bowl. You have Kevin McCune in the building. So a lot of great bowlers in this state watching their other halves participate.
And there's a lot of good ladies, a lot of good bowlers in Indiana.
Well, and you also have...
They don't get featured a lot, and that's what's nice about this tournament.
Well, it allows them to... They don't have to compete against the guys.
Right. That's what I was just going to say. If there's a scratch tournament out there...
A lot of these ladies will bowl against the men, but...
Yeah. But if there's any other scratch tournament out there, they're going to probably have to bowl against the men. And not everybody wants to.
And that's why you're seeing this tournament grow every year. And we hope it's in due part to two reasons. We hope one is because they don't have an opportunity to bowl against themselves, and I mean against ladies. And two, we hope the live stream is helping broadcast this out to many more bowlers in the state. That's one thing that's great about having it here at Championship Lanes. We're kind of, like you said earlier, Chad, centrally located. Obviously, you get to the portions of Evansville, that's just going to be a long drive. But it's still a 2-hour trip within reason for some of those. That's where it's nice about having a one-day event. The ladies don't have to commit to multiple days, and especially coming in Friday night and then thinking, okay, if I make the cut, I have to come back Sunday. And then all of a sudden, to make it a financially, I don't want to say smart, but wise decision, you're not spending way more money than you're going to make. So our TV pairs are 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 10. Our championship pair will be 9 and 10.
Which I don't see a banner above 9 and 10. He must not have it yet. Because they were making new banners, Jeff said.
Yeah.
And they were having issues with shipping last time we talked to them.
Yeah, and if you're watching, feel free to join the chat, ask any questions you might have, root for your favorite player. We'll try to keep you updated on scores as soon as Jeff Circle and his staff provide us that information. Again, we're about 8/9 frame in game number 1 here in the 10 a.m. squad. Want to thank our sponsors. We cannot thank our sponsors enough. Want to thank the Brands of Brunswick for becoming our large partner for all of the state or all of the Indiana USBC events. So we want to thank them for jumping on board, not only with our live streams, but for every event within the state of Indiana. Also, RT Tour Experience, Mike Aulby's Arrowhead Bowl, A1 Automotive, Pinheads Entertainment, Tim Mack's Victory Lane Pro Shops here in Indianapolis, and Big 4 Socks. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor of the Indiana State USBC events and being involved in our live streams, we'd love to have you join us. Feel free to reach out to Jeff Circle or Brian Nunning, and you can go on the Indiana State USBC website and find out all of the information to reach out to become a sponsor and promote the sport of bowling. And Chad, I see you just added that link there if you want to.
I believe that's the right link. It's probably not going to show anything yet. I'm going to click on it, but that's what I copied. So it has, it will take you to the team app, the Indiana Queens page, and then you have across the top where you have, the entry form, past champions, standings, whatnot. So if he updates that in a timely manner, we should have scores pretty good time for everybody.
All right, Kaylee is going to bowl at 1 o'clock. Kaylee, we look forward to your attendance here. And James wants to know, Chad, who is your pick to win today? Boy, that is a tough one.
There's so many talented bowlers, but you can't go against somebody like Shelby New or Aaron Jones, who won it last year. Really, it's probably up for grabs. I mean, I feel like I said, there's a lot of good bowlers here.
There's some ladies here that you might not be familiar with. There's a young lady here, can't remember her exact last name, but I don't know if it's Jones or not Jones, but her name is Ashley, and she really,
Yes.
it might be Jackson or Johnson, she really rips the cover off the ball. I mean, she's right up there with most of the men here as far as rev rate. She's an impressive player. I'm not going to, we all try to prevent from going to the household names as far as our picks to win. I think it's like the Masters, Indiana Masters every year. You could probably pick 8 to 10 guys and feel like, okay, they'll make the cut, but you can't guarantee whether or not. It is so hard to win anything.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. It's a lot of it is luck of the draw. Once you get the match play, hitting good pairs, finding an opponent that may not bowl as good as you.
Right.
And then if you lose early on, you got a lot of games to bowl to get to the championship match.
Yeah.
It's a long road.
There's so many things that have to go your way. Carry and breaks. There's just a lot of factors that you obviously you have to throw the ball well.
Yeah.
And Bill File said Jackson. I knew it was somewhere of those. Yeah, Ashley Jackson. Boy, she throws it good. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate the
You can always
input.
count on the chat.
Yes. And we thank you for watching. And I believe Dana File with a great start, 233. We have a 224. Jenny Ferguson with a great start, 237, even though I jinxed her in the 6th. And looks like maybe Beth, or is that Brittany? Or that's the thing, too. I love name shirts.
Yeah.
But the ladies always have long hair, so it's always hard to see.
That's Bethany Burton on lane 10 that we were.
Yeah, she had a chance to shoot 220. Obviously, she just missed the pocket there on lane 10. And so she's going to be looking at 214 with a spare.
Which isn't too bad. It's a good start.
No, I mean.
It's been a 4-game, format.
And you just want to stay close to that 200 mark. You don't want to go 30 or 40 under that first game, because then you're climbing your way back. Then you have to shoot a great game. And, well, no surprise, Paul. He's taken Chelsea Kiefer, his daughter. Here's the thing. Back to James' question. Who do we – and I know this is going to sound like a homer pick, and no, I'm not. Shelby New is – you're going to have to go through her probably at some point. But what would it be, or how cool would it be if Natalie Tackett –
that's a name we didn't mention –
wins the Queens right after her husband becomes a Triple Crown winner and wins the U.S. Open. So that would be pretty cool. And she's come close. I shouldn't say close, but she's been there. I believe she's made it to the final 8. I would not be surprised. The left side on some of the easier patterns has been very good in this center. So I'm going to say that's probably one of my picks will be Natalie Tackett. But there's some other names that, and as we proceed through this qualifying squad, that keep an eye out for. Alexis Cox, a former Purdue player.
Everybody's done on the pairs, so they're getting ready to switch to the second game.
She throws it real well. Yeah. No, James, I'm nowhere near a politician. No. I know, you know, we try to keep we don't want to come across as rooting for someone, right? But we just thought, I thought, how cool would it be if Natalie can somehow win this event for the first time right after EJ becomes a Triple Crown winner. But again, one of the bowlers you're pretty sure you're going to have to go through will be Shelby New at some point. This is her home center, and she really bowls good almost every time out in anything she bowls.
Waiting for the ladies to get settled down here and start game number 2.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, hopefully we have scores from game number 1 here in a few minutes. You're watching the Indiana Queens on Savage Bowling TV.
If you're ready to take your game to the next level, trust the guys with over 20 PBA Tour titles and RT Tour experience to improve your game. Ball layouts for the best feel and to maximize your game. The top names in bowling: Motive, Brunswick, Hammer, Radical, Storm, Roto Grip, and more in stock. Get tips and lessons from PBA stars Mike Devaney and Ronnie Russell. When you're ready to invest in your bowling game, go to RT Tour Experience with 2 locations, inside Pinheads and Fishers and All-Star Bowl in Indianapolis.
When you bowl a ton of games on tour like I do, it's all about comfort and feel. That's why I choose Big 4 socks.
Find Big 4 socks at a pro shop near you or online at big4socks.com.
Whether you bowl tons of games like I do or league once a week, there's only one choice for me.
Get your pair of Big Four socks at a pro shop near you or online at bigfoursocks.com.
Pinheads Entertainment Center has it all. A modern-style bowling alley with 2 private bowling suites. Alley's Ale House serves up a chef-crafted menu daily, featuring signature handcrafted cocktails and over 30 draft options. The arcade at Pinheads offers 90-plus games, including old-school games, Golden Tee, and virtual reality with top-tier prizes. Host large events or meetings in the multifunction banquet room that can accommodate up to 80 guests. Visit, call, or reserve online today. Off State Road 37 next to Honda of Fishers.
All right, welcome back here during the Indiana Queens live stream here of squad number 1, the 10 a.m. squad. Scott Gilmore and Chad Lester here in the broadcast booth. Ladies are just finishing up game number 2, but we have game 1 standings here, and we appreciate your patience with these. Jennifer Thompson is your leader after game number 1 with a 257. Past champion Kimberly Woodall, the 2016 champion, shot 242. Two-time champion Jenny Ferguson with a 237. Dana File with a 233. Jenny Applewhite and Alexis Cox at plus 24. Olivia Poor and Stephanie Stogsdill at plus 16. Lisa Seyfarth at plus 14. And rounding out your top 10 is Deshelle Casey at plus 13. Other notable players after game number 1. Cindy Franklin, a past champion, she's plus 11. Alexandra Ross, you'll know that name through our Indiana High School bowling. She is plus 10. Shelby New as plus 4. Alexis Carter, a past champion as well, and Aaron Jones plus 3, plus 2 respectively. Michelle Russell, Ronnie Russell's wife, she shot 200 on the nose. Chelsea Kiefer, minus 1, and Natalie Tackett, minus 1. Remember, the top 16 will make it to match play. I do believe they'll cash 1 and 5 this afternoon, but the top 16 will advance to the match play finals that will take place roughly at 4 p.m. So that's your top 16 scores and a few others thrown in there that you might want to know about. Michelle Irwin, she is minus 13 after game 1, and I believe she shot 180 or 190 her second game. So she's got some work to do here to make her way into the top 16. That's your scores. Ladies are just now starting game number 3. Hopefully we'll have game number 2 here shortly. And notable players here on your live stream pairs. Defending champion Aaron Jones on lanes 5 and 6. We'll find out who else is coming our way. Again, we're bringing you pairs 5 through 10 here on the live stream on Savage Bowling TV. So we appreciate you spending your Saturday morning and afternoon with us here from Championship Lanes here in Anderson, Indiana. Weather outside looks gorgeous. Thank you, Mother Nature, for bringing that awful stuff on Friday and letting Saturday's weather be nice and clear. Ladies can drive here with no problems. 1 o'clock roughly will be the start of squad number 2, and then after that, we'll have our top 16 total. So sit back, relax, enjoy the top ladies in the state of Indiana as they try to win the tiara and the title of the Indiana Queens. All right, welcome back here to the broadcast booth. Scott Gilmore, Chad Lester here at the Indiana Queens from Championship Lanes, Anderson, Indiana. Game 2 scores just handed to us. Leading the way still after shooting a 228 game 2 is Jennifer Thompson at plus 85. She has a 35 pin lead over Olivia Poor. Jenny Ferguson shoots 204 game 3. She's plus 41. Morgan Johnson plus 35. Lisa Seyfarth plus 26. Cindy Franklin plus 23. Linda Burns 21 over. Stephanie Stogsdill at plus 11. And Jenny Applewhite at plus 10. Your top 10's rounded out by Erin Jones, who just had a baby. I was talking to her right before game number 3 started. Just had a baby 3 weeks ago. and she's out here bowling. She says she's only bowled, I believe, once or twice since the last Queens. And here she is, +7 after 2 games. Shelby New at +1, and Taylor Ellison from Lafayette, past Lafayette bowler. She is at even par, per se, in 12th. Other notable bowlers, Alexis Carter -1. Kimberly Woodall, she struggled game number 2. She only shot 155. She's -3. And as we go down the standings, Michelle Irwin, -3. She shot 210 game 2 to climb up the standings, but she's got a little more work to do because she's 16th, but we're only going to take 16 today. And we still have one more qualifying squad to go. Dana File struggled game number 2. She only shot 158. She's at -9. Alexandra Ross, you're going to see her bowling here on, I believe, 7 and 8. She is in 22nd at -9. Alexis Koch, who shot 224 her first game, she struggled game number 2, 154. She's at -22. Natalie Tackett at -27. Chelsea Kiefer, Paul Lamont will like to know, she's -29. And as we go down, Lafayette bowler Annalise Sisk at -37. Michelle Russell at -43. A lot of players, Chad, shooting a 200 game or a high 190 game, going to the next pair and struggle, shooting in the 150s. So that tells you that each end of the house, there's a lot of difference from pair to pair. And plus, ladies break them down a little bit differently too. And sometimes you go to another pair and it's just not quite the same.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different styles of bowlers out there. Some throwing a lot of revs, no revs. Seen people, a couple backup balls even. You know, it's a lot different than what we see with the men.
Stephanie Stogsdill, Alexander Ross, Natalie Tackett here on 7 and 8. And Alexander Ross here in the 8th frame. She has a spare in the 7th, and that comes in light, leaving the 2-4-5. Aaron Jones shoots 197, so that's going to keep her +4. And the newly mother.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yes.
You don't bowl much. You just have a baby.
Ooh,
and you come out here and be competitive.
Yeah, Natalie just washed out here in the 8th frame with the 3-6-7. One thing I noticed, Chad, from some of the players that have really struggled, the ball isn't reading what we would call the front part of the lane. It just kind of wiggles through the fronts, and then it doesn't have enough down lane to finish. And even talking with Ronnie Russell in between games 1 and 2, he was telling us that he goes, I think I need to get Michelle to put some surface on some bowling balls to get them to read a little bit better. And I agree. Now here's Cassandra Mize. Nice shot there. She's got a good game going here. See if we can find Cassandra in the standing sheets here.
Former Purdue bowler, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, former Purdue player, absolutely. And she really struggled game 1, but improved quite a bit. So she could use a really nice finish here. She could still get into the 240s.
I'm sure you'll approve of that shot, right?
Well, that's, yeah, you take them.
She's had a couple of those.
You take them however you get them, right? I always tell them, I'm like, hey.
It counts on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't tell any difference. Alexander way right misses right off the hand there. Well, and we'll see how many ladies decide to bowl the second squad if they don't bowl well this first one. Good shot there from Natalie in the 9th, but she has to strike out just to get into the 160, so not bowling the way she would like. But if you want to, there's always the next squad, and you know, why not? How many years? You know,
Well,
the Queens only comes around once a year.
Right. You know, for Natalie, it's like let's go ahead and just figure it out and give herself a look that she can, you know, maybe use that for the next squad. EJ's over here coaching.
Well, you know, looking at the scores around us, Chad, I only see
I
see a 205 game. I see 224.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the games are fairly low, and Cassandra with a nice shot there in the 9th. I definitely, if somebody asks me for help, and what should I do? And boy, I want a ball that I would probably prefer something that revs up and reads the fronts really well. I'll give up a little bit down lane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give up anything in the first 40 feet.
No.
And I think based on what I see, unless you have a lot of hand, you have to have something with a little bit of surface. That comes in light. And that's been the miss, is the ladies can't seem to get it to finish. We hope you are enjoying the broadcast here on Savage Bowling TV. Again, let's thank our sponsors, Chad. We want to thank Mike Aulby's Arrowhead Bowl, RT Tour Experience Pro Shops with 2 locations in in Fishers and All-Star Bowl in Indianapolis. Want to thank A1 Automotive, Tim Max, Victory Lane Pro Shops with 4 locations in Indianapolis. Also want to thank the Brands of Brunswick for all of their contributions to being our corporate partner here with the Indiana State USBC and all of their events. And also want to thank Pinheads Entertainment in Fishers. And rounding out, we also want to thank Big Four Sox and Dave Slavin's right here in the building with the table behind us here with all of his goods. So great opportunity to pick up a pair of socks. We wear them all the time.
We got ourselves a new pair today.
Yeah, got the gray and blacks. Love them.
Told David he needs to get some black and gold, or gold and black.
Yeah, and
so we can wear those Purdue colors.
You saw Alexander right there, Chad, go to a ball with a little bit of surface on it, and she goes high flush. Don't want to give up the.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing right now is you got to have something that reads the front of the lane. I'll give up a little bit of down lane reaction, because if it rolls early, it should stay right there. And a big shot here for Cassandra Mize in the first ball in the 10th. Can shoot 240 and climb herself right back into this. Comes in light. Oh, leaving the 7-pin. She spares and fills 10. She'll be in the 220s. She could have really used a 240 game after she only shot 124 game 1. Well, with a spare and 10 fill, she'll be 226. Natalie opened in the 10th for 134. And you can almost imagine this last game, Chad. Oh, and Cassandra missed the 7-pin. She'll finish with 214. You can almost imagine right now, Chad, that Natalie's probably going to do some fishing.
Yeah, right.
Here, finding something that's going to work for probably the second squad.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, why not? You don't have a chance of making it, and if you are thinking about bowling the next squad, yes, that's what you do. Use that fourth game just to play different lines, throw different equipment. She doesn't have a bad ball rep today, that's for sure.
Well, and you know, it's not easy coaching or giving someone some coaching tips when you're left or when one's left-handed and the other one's right-handed.
Yeah, we think differently.
Well, but the lanes play differently on
They
one
do.
side or the other.
Yeah.
You can kind of get an idea of what you think you need to do, of being a right-hander or a left-hander, and then sometimes it doesn't always play out that way.
That's right.
So let's see who we have coming here for game number 4. Game 3 just finishing up on most pairs.
Yeah, and 5 and 6, I believe these are the same ladies that were on 9 and 10 to start today.
Well, let's see, Alexis Cox.
We have some different ladies on 7, 8, 9, and 10 than what we had before.
Alexis Cox is going to be down on our TV pairs. Let's see who else. I believe. Yep. Kevin McCune's girlfriend, Liana Motel, is on 9 and 10. Actually, she's on 7 and 8. Past champion Kimberly Woodall is on 7 and 8. This pretty much going to give you a good idea, Chad, as you're watching, is who's bowling well and who's not.
Right.
Body language tells a big
Says-
story.
Yeah, says it all.
You know, and we talked about how the scoring was. Great shot there by Liana there on 7 and 8 in front of us. The scoring pace last year was pretty high for the most part. I don't remember exactly what the cut score was for 16.
Yeah, and I couldn't find it. I was looking for that. 2 years ago, it was plus 88 for the 4 games. And I couldn't find anything from last year. Anyway, sorry.
But when you're looking at the scores now, you're looking at 16th place is -3 right now in this squad.
Yeah.
That tells you, that's just after 2 games. So we don't have third game scores yet, but that is much, much lower than last year.
It is. And, you know, it was plus 88, and it was 2019. So I don't have the other.
We don't have the 2022 scores.
No, or even 2020 and 2021.
Taylor Ellison is on 7 and 8. Former Lafayette Jeff bowler.
I believe she might have been on that team who won a state championship.
Taylor bowls really well. She throws it
does.
really well. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but did she not bowl with Brianna Gibbons up, I can't think of what school it was, up north? Was it not Lords, but I'm trying to think of.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I
Yeah,
can't think of who it is
I
either.
can't either.
Yeah,
But
Lords
anyway.
was the first school, right, that Brianna went to.
Well, I
And
don't
did
know
she
if it was.
transfer, or did, I don't remember. Brianna, if you're in the chat.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they were at the same university. Of course, Holly Cyphers could tell us. One thing I do know, with a little bit of experience bowling in this center, that light mixer hit is really where you want to
Yes.
master.
I've seen a lot of that.
The pin carrier, the pin action in this house is really good, and that real light mixing hit is kind of the play that I wanted to look for when I was bowling. I wanted to try to have that ball come in a little bit late and mix them up. It's the half hits that are really hard to carry in this house. Because even if you get it real high flush, it's not uncommon to leave a lot of 8 and 9 pins. I remember long before Dave Small purchased this center, they used to have twister pins in here.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And woof,
Yes.
twister pins were, oh man, you did not want to hit high flush. Taylor Ellison with a nice strike there. It was so easy to leave a 4-9 or a 6-8, but the light mixers, oh man, those pins just flew around this center. Remember years ago too, in the National Bowling Stadium, they had twisters.
Yes.
And it was tricky to string strikes. Well, right now we're using lanes, I believe, 3 through like 36, I believe, for qualifying today. 68 ladies participating in squad number 1. And after 2 squads today, we'll have our top 16 ladies. Last year, remember, we had a roll-off, one-game roll-off for 16th place, so you never know.
Started a little bit late because of it, but that was a great match.
Yeah,
we
they
were
had,
able to live stream it. And
they had
everything.
Teresa Smith-Dill in it, past champion from Indianapolis. I haven't
she
seen
was
her
the
yet.
one who won that match too.
No, she lost.
Did she?
Yes.
Slept since
And
then.
you know, we were saying how unfortunate the person that won the roll-off then got Shelby New in match number 1.
We have our answer in the chat, I think.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and I do remember that. Thank you, Rhiannon. Of course, when I was at Purdue bowling, there's so many of these colleges didn't even exist.
Yeah, it's like, who's that?
Yeah, you never heard of these schools.
And then there's some schools that don't even have bowling programs anymore.
Yeah.
We have scores for third game?
Oh, we have third game scores. Thank you, Mr. Circle. All right, we'll update these here.
Hey, I
love it when they hand them to us. I'm sure the Google Sheet is updated too. We'll go over there. Yep. So leading the way here for squad number 1 is still Jennifer Thompson. She only shot 185 game 3, so she's at plus 70. Linda Burns stays or is in third or second place with plus 47. Olivia Poore in third at plus 46. Jenny Ferguson hanging tough at plus 42. Morgan Johnson plus 38. Jenny Applewhite in sixth at plus 34. Cindy Franklin, a past champion, at plus 26. Taylor Ellison, who we were just talking about, she just doubled. She is in eighth at plus 22. Kimberly Woodall, who now is right here trying to pick up a 7-pin, is in ninth. She came back after that 150 game and shot 221. She's at plus 18. Brittany Cooper at plus 15. Lisa Seyfarth hanging tough at plus 13. Michelle Irwin shoots 213. Now she finds herself at plus 10. Kim Collins plus 8. Erin Jones at plus 4. Taylor Radke at plus 3. She's tied with Jacqueline Rhoda. And that is your top 16 plus 3. Rhea Burton is in 17th at plus 1. Other notable players: Stephanie Stocksdill is at minus 11. Shelby New, Chad, is struggling. She is at minus 24.
Wow.
Michelle Russell at minus 41. Way down in 30th place. Alexander Ross minus 52. Alexis Cox, former Purdue player, she's kind of struggling. She started out great, 154, 168 her last 2 games. She's minus 54. Cassandra Mize, minus 67. And way down in 55th place is Natalie Tackett at minus 93. So just as easy it is to strike, it's also just as easy to find yourself with back-to-back opens and then a rough game. So definitely tougher scoring conditions this year than in previous years here at the Indiana Queens.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if you talk to some of the players, they like it. That's been the feedback that I've heard over the last couple of years, that they would like them to be a little bit harder. And whether this was on purpose or not on Jeff's part when he made the condition, I don't know.
Well, and I do agree with them. You just don't want a player being able to miss or have 5, 6 boards of area.
I agree.
You want to have the player that can repeat shots. As Taylor just chopped the 3-pin off the 6 for an open frame.
And I always felt in the lower scoring condition, the field was a little bit tighter.
Absolutely. Well, here's the interesting question. What players, or at what point in the standing sheets do you decide to sit on your score?
That's true.
You know, are you?
You don't know who's going to bowl the next, squad.
Right. Well, and they're going to re-oil.
And they're going to re-oil. How's that going to play?
Right.
And it's hard to say, whether the next squad's going to have a lot more talent in it, because this squad right here is pretty talented.
Oh, there is. Well, when you have 5 or 6 past champions here.
So I don't know if you can use that as a reason to sit or bowl.
I think if you're in the top 2,
you're safe.
Probably maybe even top 4 based on what your score is. I think you're probably pretty safe. Like if I'm Jenny Ferguson at plus 42, let's say she shoots 210 and she's plus 52 and 4th. I'm probably going to sit at that number.
Yeah.
I never really worried about where I qualified at, because in a 1-game match anything can happen.
You just want to get in at this point.
So I might sit at that point, but you get into the, let's say, 7th, 8th place, and you're plus 10. Boy, now they're gonna re-oil, strip and re-oil, and you know what that does.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of, I should say, lanes will change a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought, don't you think they get a little bit tighter?
They get tighter, for sure.
It's hard to get everything off.
It is.
The only way you could get everything off is if you went and stripped, and then you stripped and oiled.
Yeah, and they didn't double strip before this squad, so usually the first squad is going to. Usually the scores are higher because you have the house shot.
Right.
Memory, they call it memory, down on the lane. Because it's a lot of oil that's in the middle. It's hard to get 100% of it off.
Right.
In one pass.
Well, on 9 and 10 here, you're going to get a great look here at Ashley Jackson. She is struggling, but she'll be here on lane number 9. She throws it well. She started out with front 3 on 9 spare here in the 4th. And
highest drive rate in the field.
absolutely. Absolutely.
By far.
Woo! That is filthy. Now Alexis Cox here on lane 10. She's got a strike working. She's really struggling. I'm assuming that she'll be fishing for squad number 2 here. A little half 10 there. As Taylor Ellison just missed the 4-pin. She's missed back-to-back easy spares.
Yeah. Those are called unforced errors.
And when you're in tight, she is in 8th with plus 22. You just can't give up 22 pins like she just did there.
Oh, you see that right off to the
I
left of
missed.
everybody's screen. She left the 4-9, but the 9 fell into the 4.
9 fell into the 4.
Yes.
You'd always heard the 4 falling into the 9, but not the other way around. Hey, you need breaks like that.
Yeah.
Now Taylor Ellison will be off to the far left of your side here as we watch Alexis Cox pick up the 10-pin. No jinx there. And Taylor throws a strike. And like you said, though, Chad, when scoring is so tight, and typically at the end of the day, especially at the Indiana Masters, 5-6 pins could separate 12 guys.
Yeah, every pin matters.
You know, we talk about, you know, when you get to the fill ball of your of the 10th frame, you almost squirmished a little bit when you got a 7 count because you just knew those 3 pins could come into play at some point.
Yeah, or if you live like a 4-7-10 or something like that and you pick off just the 7.
Right.
You know, that 1 pin you miss, the 4 pin.
Yeah, Jennifer Haywood
could
here
mean
on
a lot.
Right, absolutely. Jennifer Haywood here on lane 10. She's got a double working. Ooh, and that one was a little soft. She got it right early, and the ball went right through the face. I was never one fond of qualifying. I always hated qualifying because I felt like you were trying to reach a number or post, and I just never. Another quitter 10 there for Alexis.
Yeah, you know, when you're in qualifying, you're just trying to knock down as many pins as you can.
I just wanted. I just like put me in the match play. I love the match play portion of it, head to head.
Yeah, if tournaments could just start off like that, right?
Right. Well, Ashley Jackson is way down, surprisingly, way down in 49th place, minus 75. So she's really no chance here of making the cut here in this squad unless some really strange things happen. But she can kind of get an idea of what to throw maybe for the next game. Oh, man, she throws it so good. Fun to watch. Fun to watch. All right, ladies are in halfway here, done through game number 4. And when we're done here, we'll have the final scores, and then we'll take a short break while they strip and re-oil all of the lanes for the second squad at 1 o'clock. So we hope you're enjoying the Indiana Queens here on Savage Bowling TV. We'll be back with final tallies here from squad number 1 here on Savage Bowling TV.
send her the money. But her name does not come up on my phone. Oh no, I think she did. I'm sorry. I was literally just texting her the other day. My phone doesn't know. It doesn't work. We used to have text a while ago. I haven't deleted it, but her name's not really there. Right. That's like the only one. All of my texts with my sister are just gone. Besides the one I just sent her, they're gone. And I literally just sent her money yesterday because I was at work and she was like, "Oh, here's the phone bill." It's so hard, you're stuck almost on 2 lanes. She goes, "Here's the phone bill." I was like, "Okay." I sent her the money and she responded, "Oh, now I have Vegas money. So we must be going to Vegas in a few days." Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. We were at the one time. That went out. The sheet says $5 high game on it. The only thing that's going to make she won't be good. Nice. You want all your brackets? Please come back. No? Wait. Okay. She finished last with the participants. Look at how much more this They have all 6 points more than that.
All right, welcome back here to the Indiana Queens here. Championship lanes, the host, Anderson, the city. Savage Bowling, your source for all of the action here. And we're wrapping up the 10 a.m. squad. Hard to believe, 4 games done already. And we're just quarter after the hour here at noon. So nice pace here, 2 hours, 15 minutes to bowl 4 games. We got 4 ladies on a pair. And 68 ladies bowled the first squad here, and just talking to tournament director Jeff Circle. And quite a few have come down and re-entered. He had 20 prepays for this squad, I believe, or the 1 o'clock squad. So interesting to see how many decide to bowl again. What we'll do here as bowling finishes up, we will go ahead and sign off, and then when we come back on the air for the 1 o'clock squad, we'll have a wrap-up of the 10 a.m. squad. You can also, I believe, go onto their team app. Chad, I believe you have that in. We could probably pin that if you want to pin the link on our chat.
It's pinned, and the standings are updated.
Yeah.
So.
If you want to know before we come back on the air, you would be able to do that. We're going to probably be a little bit later than 1 o'clock for the second squad. By the time they rerun all of the lanes, it'll take a little bit of time, I believe.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere around 45 minutes, don't you think?
Yeah.
To run.
I bet we're gone.
We'll be close to a little bit after 1 o'clock, probably.
1:15 or so, I bet.
Yeah, probably be an hour before we get started with the second qualifying squad. So once we get done with 2 squads, we'll have our top 16 announcement. And then sometime around 4:30, we'll have top 16 match play underway. It'll be a double elimination.
Single game, double elimination.
Yep, and it'll be exciting. We were talking to Jeff about the lane pattern a little bit. He tweaked last year's pattern a little bit, and, man, it has made a difference. They are much more difficult, and I think the ladies probably like that. It's really put an emphasis, Chad, on shot making.
And spares.
And spares.
And
You're
spares.
right. Spares are always a factor.
Yeah.
But definitely shot making. Ashley Jackson finished with 228. That's the highest score. 227 on our 7 and 8.
222, I think, on 4. Is that? On
Yeah,
bottom
so
bowl?
really.
Nothing outstanding. It's just
Yeah.
here and there.
210, 220 games are big. There's a big score going to be posted, it looks like, on 13 and 14.
It was just amazing how scoring pace started out pretty high, especially that first game. We had several bowlers with the first 4 and 5 strikes in a row, and it just trickled down after that.
Yeah, it is. Really put an emphasis on shot making and spares, like you said, Chad. And one thing I will say this, when you can throw strikes, but you also have to make shots, really spells, to me, an exciting day because every shot's going to be critical.
That's right.
It's, you're not giving someone 6, 7 boards at the break point. You're really making them, but they can throw strikes. It's not like the Indiana Masters where you can throw strikes, but it's also very difficult.
Yeah, the Indiana Masters is more of a, you have to really, there's a better emphasis on spares, I guess is what I should say.
Right.
Because you're not going to strike a lot.
Well, and right now I think it's a great score. Jennifer Thompson, after 3 games, was only averaging 223.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
You don't.
That's where you want it. You don't want somebody, it could happen. Somebody averaged 250. They bowl great, but you don't want a bunch of those bowlers in the 240s, 230s.
Yeah.
There's always going to be somebody that's going to hit them.
I think when it comes to re-entering, if a person is looking to bowl and they see the standing sheet and it's like, I only have to average 215 or 210 to make it.
Yeah.
That has a much better chance of getting a re-entry than if it's 230 to make it. So.
Yeah, if I felt like I didn't have a chance to throw a lot of strikes, then no, I'm not re-entering. I think when the scoring pace is lower, like you said, yeah, people will re-enter because they feel like, oh, really, only have to shoot 610?
Right,
or
yeah.
810 in this case, or 815, 820.
Yeah, I agree. All right. That wraps up all the bowling here for the 10 a.m. squad. When we come back on the air, we'll be starting with the second squad of qualifying, and after the second squad, we'll have our top 16. And joining us in the booth for the next squad will be none other than PBA Hall of Famer legend, Mr. Mike Aulby. So sit back and relax. We hope you are enjoying the Indiana Queens here from Championship Lanes in Anderson, Indiana, here on Savage Bowling TV.
Pinheads Entertainment Center has it all. A modern-style bowling alley with 2 private bowling suites. Alley's Ale House serves up a chef-crafted menu daily, featuring signature handcrafted cocktails and over 30 draft options. The arcade at Pinheads offers 90-plus games, including old-school games, Golden Tee, and virtual reality with top-tier prizes. Host large events or meetings in the multifunction banquet room that can accommodate up to 80 guests. Visit, call, or reserve online today. Off State Road 37 next to Honda of Fishers.
Keep your vehicle running like new. Stop by A1 Automotive to get an honest rundown of what your vehicle needs or doesn't need. It's all part of their no-pressure, no-upsell environment. Find them online at a1cardoctors.com or stop in today right off Coliseum across from Tractor Supply. A1 Automotive.